Hello and welcome back to yet another Let's Play channel. I'm Vic and I'm here with Tyson, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We recorded an episode recently, and then it turned out that all the audio was just completely borked. But we didn't really want to just throw the episode out, so all we're going to do is we're going to play back the video, and we're going to talk over it. And you guys can let us know in the comments just how much you don't like that. So here we go.
Welcome back. All right.
If I get my mouse off the screen, then we won't have to look at the playback buffer. Yeah, so we started out in a little bit of a thunderstorm here, and we were thinking about going and hitting that camp. If I remember right, I had
Problem is you're out of regular arrows.
Right. Yeah, I'd used up the last of my arrows sniping a couple of moblins, and
it's not worth it just to use all your magic arrows for no reason too.
Yeah.
Save those for a rainy day,
and
a different rainy day.
There wasn't really anything that we wanted over there anyway, so.
Ooh. You know, I didn't know. I mean, I'm sure most people playing this for the first time find out the hard way that the lightning, it won't hit you unless you're wearing something metallic, and it just kind of gives you this like hot potato warning system, and you're just like, oh no, you know what's about to happen, but you don't know how to prevent it. And then finally, I think, you don't have Navi or what's her name, Fee, telling you what to do. It's just,
or Tattle.
you just like, yeah, right. But man, the first time I got hit by lightning, I mean, it killed me.
Yeah, and until you figure out the lightning thing, it's just sort of like, this is really annoying, and I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, so rain combined with lightning, just bad time all around.
Which is too bad, because I really like the ambiance of the rainstorms. You know, the sound to design that they did was so good. The thunder and the rain falling are really, really nice. So I think what we're doing now is we're going to head for the. Are we still heading for the green tower, or had we already bailed out on that? All right. Well, this is when I'm lecturing you about Epona's song.
Oh yeah, I still didn't hear it. I mean, you said it was playing it as we left, and I still didn't really catch it. All I was thinking about was, you already ran into your first Lionel. I mean, he didn't mess you up or anything, but there's guaranteed to be another one coming up. And you said you wanted to go. You're talking about never going through that open valley again. And when we head to another tower shrine.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We already made a run at the green tower, but I took the left fork there, or I took the road where it turns left. And we wound up in the Lost Forest and did that shrine. So now I was trying a different angle. There's the line.
Thinking of lightning again, I don't think you can get hit by lightning unless you're wearing something metallic. So even that hit there wouldn't have hit you. Oh yeah, there he is on the right. Ugh. That's a tough one, because I was gonna say that's a tough one because you need, if you're not very good at fighting, like I'm not. You need something where you can climb up and jump off of it, so you can slow time, shoot him in the face.
Yeah.
And that particular Lionel, there's not a whole lot to work with.
I did a little bit of farming off camera just because I thought it was going to get boring, constantly being out of arrows and not fighting stuff because we didn't have gear. So I just kind of like ran around places we'd already been and attacked some Lizalfos and stuff. And I wound up wandering near that Colosseum. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Korok for you.
Yeah, look at this. This guy.
So I hit the Colosseum, and I was like, I'll take a crack at the Lionel that's in there. Like, I knew I wasn't going to be able to take him with 4 hearts and garbage gear, but like,
I mean, as long as you
it was my time to waste.
Don't get hit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, suffice to say, I did get hit repeatedly, but I did get pretty good at dodging some of those swipes to set up flurries. So I was pretty happy about that. I mean,
it's just like 1 or 2 frames that you have, especially when he does the charging at you.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's all you get. I feel that the initial fight with those guys isn't as bad or as bad. It's the second stage when they start blowing fire at you that I'm better at it because you can get an updraft with them, and that that's my jam is the updraft or jumping off something and then getting the slow time from the paraglider. But
Yeah, so you're really into
that first
the
half,
archery
ugh,
oriented stuff. You're looking for the headshots and the bullet time.
which shows that I need to get good, but yeah, I see people doing like all the shield saving perfect parries is what it's called, I guess, or
Uh-huh.
perfect blocks, and I just end up dying.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, right? Is either you do it right and you deflect the attack and don't take any damage, and sometimes you get a free disarm, which is cool, or you get wrecked. Like there's no in between.
Yeah, I'm in the latter part of that category.
That was another thing that I spent some time doing while I was farming stuff. Is I was just going after like the bottom tier moblins, the red ones, and I was practicing perfect parries on them. And you almost always disarm those guys when you perfect parry their club attacks, which is pretty neat. Because especially
That's
if you,
pretty neat.
yeah, especially if you've got a free slot open, you can grab their club and throw it at them.
Man, that's cool. You sent me a list of like pro gamer moves, and it's just really, really well done and really
Oh
amazing
yeah,
what
okay,
people are capable of.
yeah. So this is the one where I was like, what is that on top of the tower? And I was thinking that it might have been Kilton's balloon or something. But it
Right.
turns out that it's a skull because there's an enemy base here. And I was just like,
Yeah,
nope,
it's
not messing
surrounded
with
by
those
all
guys.
kinds of. Yeah, it's all the mid or elite tier baddies. So off to a off to a great adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, I had forgotten how many of these towers were difficult to access. I had it in my head that we were just gonna like run around and do them all real quick and then get on to
Just breeze through it, get some waypoints.
yeah.
No big deal. No, it's the shrines. It's the shrines. There's 100 and I keep messing up the number. 179
I
maybe.
so when I say 179, it's a joke because there are 180 shrines, but I
Ah.
deny the existence of Eventide Island.
Oh, and that's one of my more. I just kind of like because it's like a step back to basics with nothing,
Yeah,
just
well
for a little bit, but
we
it's not
can
forever.
we can argue about the merits of that as a shrine when we get back to it.
But a lot of all but 10 of those are fairly easy waypoint gets versus the towers.
Yeah, and the other thing about them is you get the soul orbs, so that you can actually get some more hearts and not be so dang fragile. So,
So that when guys like this fire wizrobe,
put away your ice arrows, dumbass.
yeah, they get the jump on you. These
Oh wait, I've
guys,
I've got the ice arrow out because I'm trying to get him. Yeah, okay.
yeah, right, one shot. There's a one shot for the ice wizrobe, one shot for the fire, not for the electric. Like that's the worst kind of enemy.
It's because there's no wind arrow.
Yeah, right. Only this was Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'd be something. No
Well,
rock type.
well, and that's a weird asymmetry, right? So there are the four Ganon blights, if we exclude the flower one,
Sure.
and they're all elemental. And those are the elements: fire, water, electric, and wind.
Yeah,
Right?
but then you
Um,
don't get a wind weapon save the like the Korok leaf.
right. And I mean, I guess I've never tried a Korok leaf against an electric Wizroad to see if it does anything.
I don't think you'd want to.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll be one of those did you know gaming 20-year secrets? People are still playing Breath of the Wild and finding out this one thing that no one knew or whatever.
Right.
You see those pop up every once in a while.
Oh, come on, dude. Just figure out that you need to go around the other side and leave these guys alone.
Don't worry about it. Oh no,
Yep.
that's an elite with an arrow. Oh. Right in the grundle.
Didn't even have my shield up or nothing.
I mean, that was a long shot. It was through under the bridge. Like, yeah, well played, Captain Bokoblin. And then, yeah, I think when you die, right, it like resets to a waypoint, so it's like as if you did nothing.
Yeah, it's doing some kind of like quick saving or something, and it's just doing a load from that.
And you
right.
don't, like, if you had arrows, if you'd gotten some arrows, that now gets reset, right? You don't get those. You have to go get them again.
I actually don't remember, but it hardly matters.
We'll have to die a few times and find out.
Well, doubtless we will.
Nice. Keep track of that metric.
So yeah, I think this time I go the correct direction.
This is like, yeah, it's just like a slightly easier tower than that electric one, but only slightly.
But it's enough slightly.
Right.
Yeah, go play with that shiny thing.
And then just into the tar pits with you.
Yeah.
Love it.
So speaking of those high-level strats videos, I watched another one of those this morning, and I learned about a technique that I think I'm going to try out. It's a perfect bomb parry. Do you remember this one from the list?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's one of the it says the most important, the very first important one that you should try, right?
So I think
it's like listed early on.
It wasn't the one that the guy in the video I sent you talked about, because I think the one he was talking about was actually where you do a bomb launch into bullet time. So you use the bomb to launch yourself into the air and then whip out your bow, and it's
so
bullet
with
time
a bomb
on demand.
Perfect parry. Are you parrying your own bomb blast?
Yeah. So what you do is first you lift up your shield, and then you press the deploy a bomb button, and when he's got his shield out, he doesn't hold the bomb; it just falls in front of him. And then you detonate and parry in very rapid succession, and it produces a perfect parry, so you don't get hit by the bomb. And so it's just like, it's an easy way to do some crowd control and get people off your back.
That's a level of cognition that I don't think I'm capable of. I'm more of a kamikaze fighter, so if I'm surrounded by some unsavory folks and I've got the bomb, I don't think I'm going to have the wherewithal to pull out the shield and try and parry it. I'm just going to take us all down in the ship together.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and
that's a lot. That's awesome. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
This is like, I would have liked to have seen that ram just to finish you off while you're blinking here.
It would have been awesome if he had just like booped me right off the cliff so that I could fall in the lava. That would have been the perfect one. Oh, and here's where I'm
so
like, what have we got that I can heal on?
Oh, not the mushrooms, no.
Yeah, you and your diamonds, man. It isn't even worth trading 100 mushrooms for a diamond. Like, it's so much work.
I know. Yeah, I just remember how tedious it was to get them, and so it's like,
get ready to see some more arrows wasted.
Oh yeah, I'm just like, gotta save all the mushrooms. Oh, and this is like, the distance is a little bit further because it's downhill.
Yep. Lucky for me, that fool had no idea where I was.
And he's got the flaming club, like.
Well, it wasn't flaming until I helped him out.
Right? Just like, great, thanks, mate.
Yeah. There we
Perfect.
go.
That's beautiful.
And he didn't even have the courtesy to die, I don't think.
No, they're pretty hardy. That guy though,
That
that
one went
guy
down.
just literally smoked.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a good. Has a strong bow too. You got 5 shots, 5 to win it.
Off to a good start.
Yeah. And then the blood moon starts.
Yeah.
Yep. You're just like, screw it. I'll just go take care of this mono a mono.
That guy didn't even
Oh, yeah,
ragdoll
you're
or
like,
drop his club or nothing. What a jerk.
yeah, they're those guys are pretty rough. I saw that the technique to take those out, especially on like a master trial or whatever, is to just go in and get close, and then they have no choice because they can't hit you
Hmm.
because of their, I guess their hit boxes for you are pretty far out. So what they try and do is try and kick you away, which lets you be able to get behind them and then just wail on them. So
Yeah.
they're one of those enemies that the distance, you don't want to keep distance. You actually want to get in close.
Yep.
That's that's what I've not learned but seen.
Well, and I think I read that there's actually a spot where you can like get outside of their vision, but also be like right up on them, and so they
Right.
actually lose track of you. Another
Well, you
thing that
see
I
the
could have
people
done
that,
is grab that crate with
oh,
magnesis and
dang.
pushed him off with it.
Oh man. Yeah, and he's got such a powerful club. I mean, you just die if he even touches you.
But I pulled off a
Nice.
parry.
Nice. Yeah, look at that. That's a good dang club too.
Yeah.
No, I looked at the people that do perfect runs on the master trial, and they, a lot of their kills are while the enemies are asleep, not looking. You know, they do the assassinations.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing that I was reading about is you can actually chain the sneak strike. Did you know about this?
What?
So you do a
No, I
sneak
did not.
strike, and they're first they do a little reaction, and then they spin around to look at you. But if you do the sneak strike, and then just immediately start creeping in the direction that they were looking when you hit them, then when they turn around, you'll be behind them again, and you can just do it over and over and over again.
Wow.
Isn't that
Wow.
isn't that dirty?
Wow. So that's if your one sneak strike doesn't just take them out right away.
Right, right.
That's good. Yeah, it's so fun to watch. Have you seen those dev react videos where they react to like speedrunners and stuff?
I don't think I've seen any devs react to Breath of the Wild stuff.
Yeah. Me neither. I've seen them react to Hades. Hades was a good one.
And that's
Oh,
my
those
dumbass
whoever
not
did
noticing that the tower is taller.
That's fine. You could, I don't know. No, you're right. You wouldn't have made it.
It was real close.
Those devs for Hades though, I mean, they're just such good people, and they were so good natured about it, and they really did not have any forewarning about what they're about to watch. They just knew, you know, of course there's speedrunners out there and people that are just like great gamers, and they watched firsthand, you know, or well, secondhand, I guess. They watched the recording, watched what these people do to their life's work on this game, and they're just like flabbergasted. Just like, wow, I didn't even know that was possible. Or, you know, we had an idea that this was possible, but we can never pull it off, and now we're watching it. And then,
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Have you seen the video of Bennett Foddy reacting to speed runs of Getting Over It?
No, that game is supremely frustrating though.
Yeah, it is. And the speed run on it is like 2.5 minutes or something.
So, wow. I mean, the physics on that game are weird.
Uh-huh.
The game is weird.
He's a pretty good sport about it, but
oh, I bet. Yeah, he inspired a bunch of those types of getting over it style games that are just so punishing.
oh man, and here's something that we really missed out on because of the sound corruption. Like in the when we played this, I heard the Wizro coming, and I was like,
Right.
not happy about it. But we got to
Right.
anticipate it.
Ugh. Not too many things in this game are just they just avoid outright. Lionels, Wizrobes, and then the Guardians. Especially the flying Guardians. Oh, those things are so annoying.
Yeah. All right, and here is the part where we just sat around waiting for a few minutes to wait for the rain to end. So let's go ahead and skip forward.
Yeah, I like the big playthrough I did of this, I took a suggestion from a friend, from my buddy DJ, and turned off, the whole UI, and just went kind of visuals only. And so like you'd have to know if you were too cold or too hot, because it kind of gives you like like Link himself will give you a visual indicator, and then you'll start losing health.
Hmm.
Kind of nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand why people go for that, but I think the thing is that they're looking for like quote unquote realism, because in real life you don't have a heads up display. But the thing is, in real life,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But in real life you have skin, right? And your skin has nerves. But I don't feel what Link is feeling, and I don't feel the wind blowing and all of that stuff. So I think the purpose of the HUD is to.
Me neither, because I'm so hard.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I said me neither. I don't feel the heat or the cold or the wind or the rain on my skin because I'm so hard.
Because you're so hard.
Yeah, that's a
See,
like a tough guy term, right?
But when I'm hard, I'm also more sensitive.
See, I see what you did there, and you took my thunder, and you just like, you just made it crooked, didn't you? Good. That's good.
All right, and through perseverance, we actually did make it up this tower, and we didn't have to.
Like, thank goodness,
Yeah.
like with the last tower and then this one, I was pretty sure that this was going to be, after getting hit with the arrow and then running into all these higher level dudes, I was like, oh, this is just going to be 2 strikes on a tower, and I'm going to have to suck it up, and this playthrough will be called the Struggle Bus.
Well, we might call it that anyway. After all,
We're going to call it Breath of the Sad Boy Hours.
I don't know. We might have to workshop that a little bit. I'm not super happy with the way that flows. Well, that's a tough
Would
one.
have been kind of cool. It would have been kind of cool if, like, well, I guess when you activate the shrine, it like doesn't actually move. Would have been cool though if like there was a cutscene where like the skull falls off of the shrine and then like crashes into the muck and like knocks out one of the moblins or something crazy.
I actually think that would have been reasonable, because if you remember the first tower, the one that comes up on the plateau, there's that little like antenna looking thing on top that moves, and so
yeah, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It unfolds.
So it totally could.
Nice.
That's a good point. I think they missed an opportunity there.
Yeah.
This is one of the big question marks for me about Breath of the Wild 2, is like, are the towers still going to be there, and the shrines, and are they just going to be like useless now, or is there going to be some additional function to them that we're not aware of yet?
Well, I'll be happy as long as they don't do like a Lost TV show series. If they don't do the Lost thing and they're just like, you know what I'm saying? Or like Zelda or Sheik or whatever, or Link wakes up and is just like, oh, it was all just a dream.
Well,
Welcome
I mean,
to Breath of the Wild 2.
And that was
What
me.
game was that? No, there was one game. There was a game like that. I think it was a Zelda game, right?
Was it Link? It was Link's Awakening, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the second. That's number 2.
Yeah.
Was that the one at the very end where it's like, it was all a dream?
I so I haven't played Link's Awakening, but I did see I read an article the other day that said that Link's Awakening featured two awakenings, and there's the scene at the beginning where where he wakes up, and the scene at the end where he wakes up. And so I think that's what you're thinking of based on that description.
Well,
but that's
I hope I'm not just like crapping all over this game and I'm thinking of something completely different. I mean, that's like a trope or whatever that's been used a few times. Most notably in our generation was the show. I keep seeing the movie, the show Lost, and I just remember when we were in high school.
That's not how Lost ended, though. So
really, I was never into it actually. I just remember every week, our classmates were just obsessing over it.
So the ending of Lost was similar to that, but it wasn't exactly that. So over the course of the series, lots of characters wind up getting dead or disappearing.
Sure.
And it goes to some very strange places. But in the final episode, there's like this big reunion where everybody comes together in this church that you've never seen before. And there's been a lot of speculation about like what it means. And I think the most popular theory is that they're all dead now, and that the church is like purgatory, and that's their. So they're all meeting up on their way to whatever their final destination is.
That's more inventive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I still was pretty disappointed with it, but I've come to realize that the thing about shows like Lost that really excites me about them is the weirdness and the mystery. Like I loved the first couple of seasons of Lost. The whole thing with like the bunker where they had to put in the numbers every so often, or the alarm started going off and the hieroglyphs showed up and they had no idea what was going on, but they were pretty sure that if they let that happen, it was really bad.
It's like the worst escape room ever.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to me. And even as it progressed further on and they started exploring the island and finding the other stations and learning about the Dharma Initiative and all that weird stuff, I was into it. But they crossed over this point where there was too much that was explained and there wasn't enough weird and mystery anymore, and it stopped being fun.
Gotcha.
And so that last episode was just like the climax of the not fun for me.
I've noticed you're into escape rooms, though. You like those.
I've only ever done one escape room.
How'd it go?
We got out because of me.
Oh.
I did it with the haunted house
tell you
people
what.
that I used to work with.
Oh, cool.
And they were all
I
useless.
can see myself being the least helpful person in an escape room.
I don't know. I think that you would be really useful for the finding clues part, because you're always checking stuff out and you're curious and you're like poking things and you're easily distracted, which is actually a good thing for that.
Easily distracted.
Because you wouldn't wind up like spending a bunch of time fixating on a puzzle when we didn't have all the answers yet. You would just you get bored with it and you'd be like pulling books off the shelf and then you'd find what we needed. And that's a really valuable role in escape rooming.
It's the best backhanded compliment I've ever received. I like it.
Well, in a lot of ways,
it's very accurate.
Yeah. In a lot of ways, I'm very much the same way. I mean, I grew up with ADD and focusing on things was like the defining struggle of my youth.
I don't know. I still don't know if I had ADD. I mean, I was diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, and medicated, but then told later on, like, that it was wrong. That it was a misdiagnosis.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist, so I won't speculate on your diagnosis, but it is true that many children of our generation were misdiagnosed with ADD, ADHD.
Right. Right.
It was sort of a pandemic of our youth.
Yeah.
And it seems like most commonly it was helicopter parents that were unwilling or unable to discipline their children, they would just go from doctor to doctor until they managed to obtain a diagnosis so that they could medicate their child.
Ugh, bummer.
Yeah.
Or just doctors just over prescribing, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the one probably reinforced the other, right? Comorbid
Sure.
conditions, we'll call it. But yeah, that was definitely a real thing. And of course, the other thing is, since we were young, the way that ADD, ADHD is understood and diagnosed has changed as well. I can remember when I was diagnosed.
They don't just read you a book anymore and then ask you one question and say, "Yep, he's got the ADA."
Is that how they diagnosed you?
No, no, that's a South Park reference.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, I mean, they diagnosed me via an IQ test, which was like a multi-hour interactive testing session.
Right. Oh, wow.
In retrospect, it must have cost my parents a fortune. But yeah,
cow.
they tested me, and the test, I don't remember very much about it, but I remember finding it very interesting. And they analyzed the results, and they came back and said, well, here's the IQ score that we've measured, but we also suspect that there's some ADD at play here, so we want to put him on medication and retest him and see what happens.
Jeez, right.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure I was just bouncing off the walls, and they were like, yeah, he's got it.
Yeah. Well, whereas I, oh, hey, so that's the end of the episode.
Oh, there you go. I
Yeah.
knew it. I was like, we're at the shrine already.
Yeah. And I wasn't even looking at the screen. So this has been an episode of
Reminiscing.
Ignoring Breath of the Wild with Vic and Tyson. Next
I love
time we will be back to the game, and we'll still be ignoring it, but at least I'll be playing it while we do it.
Yeah, at least one of us will be ignoring it,
That's right.
and the other will be playing it.
Yeah. So thanks for watching,
Leave it up to you.
and we'll see you again real soon for episode 11. Talk to you next time.
Nice.